talks about the merger of the Agriculture Development Bank ADB and the National Investment Bank NIB will be concluded next week. The Minister for Finance, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, said since he made the announcement in Parliament about the merger of the two banks, a lot of issues have come up and stakeholders will meet this week to firm up the discussion on whether to allow these banks to stand alone and be strengthened or be joined as one bank. Edward Nyako had an exclusive interview with Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta.
It led to the folding up of 7 banks. The reasons were varied, including non-adherence to corporate governance issues, liquidity problems, and lack of effective supervision by the central bank. While 2 of these banks, Capital and UT, were swallowed up by GCB Bank, Unibank, Sovereign Bank, Royal Bank, Construction Bank, and Beige Bank had been put together as one under the brand Consolidated Bank. But this development came with a lot of financial implications to the state, and the cost is now pegged at about 10 billion Ghana cedis. In an interview with the finance minister, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, I sought to find out from him how the state is going to recover these money.
The receiver is going to do the work of making sure that they retrieve these funds so that the state gets its money back. I do remember in 2008, with regards to Royal Bank of Scotland, etc., the Bank of England came through. They finally recovered and actually made some money out of it. But so the difficulty is the interim period in which government has to bridge that gap and also provide liquidity for the banks about the surety that the receivers will work well enough to bring these resources back in, and also there'll be prosecutions, etc., to ensure that these things are not repeated again.
One major task on the table of the managers of the economy now is how to refocus some of the state banks to facilitate the restructuring of the economy from agrarian to an industrialized one. One of the options under consideration now is merging the Agriculture Development Bank, ADB, and the National Investment Bank, NIB.
God willing, by next week we will make a determined decision whether to strengthen each bank singularly or to put them together as one going forward. But be that as it may, I think that there also needs to be a bigger institution on top of them that looks at support for banks in general, support for NIB or ADB, support for GIF, etc., so that truly, the agenda of industrialization is never compromised.
Whichever way, whether ADB, NIB merge or they are allowed to go solo and supported by government to remain robust and resilient, the people of Ghana would like to see a financial sector that is responsive to their needs. Edward Nyako, reporting for GBC 24.